Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I am going to show you my editing process, and I'm going to use the most recent video I posted, which is the last one if you watched it, and show you how I go about importing, editing, color correcting, adding music, graphics, and other sound effects, and then finally exporting. So if you're ready, let's hop right into it. Alright, so first up, as you can see here, when we open Adobe, you get a little project menu. And actually, I've done something that has really helped me, which is create a template, which has a bunch of folders pre-made, and you'll see what I mean when I open it. When we're here, as you can see on the left-hand side, I have all these folders that I pre-made. This is what I call my template, because I want to have it start off. I have all these folders ready so I can import the footage. And what I like to do now that I've opened it, so that I don't overwrite the template, I click Save As, and I name this as my new project, which today will be investing in your business. Boom. Now you're free to save and not have to worry about losing that template that you made. So let's start with importing footage. I go here. You can just drag and drop it if you have the folder open. Like for example, let's do it right now. You go to pictures. I go to investing in your business, videos. All these are here. You can just drag and drop them. Boom. It's that easy. However, if you want, you can do it in the menu in here. So I'll do that for the audio. Let's go here. You just click import. We go to, I put it in the same folder. So reinvesting in your business, audio. And you can drag and drop all these, or select them all rather, and click open. And it'll import it into the box. There you go. Now we have our audio and our footage. And what I like to do is just allow the timeline to be created by one of these footages. So I don't have to choose a sequence or anything. So I make sure it's in order, 16 through 23, perfect. Drag and drop. And that's all of our footage, raw. Now what I can do is go here, and I name my audio files based on each part of the video. So I do, my intro is here. I have part 1, which is like a secondary hook. Then I believe I started with outsourcing, looks about right. Hiring help was 2nd. Upgrading your equipment was 3rd. Ads, and then finally an outro. Now that everything's on the timeline, what I like to do is that keep everything organized, right? So you'll see here that the new sequence has been made. You can tell it's a sequence because the icon here is different and the image is different here. So like little graphic. This is a video file with audio. That's why it has a reel, a film reel, and an audio icon. This is a sequence. That's why it looks like a timeline. So what I like to do is name this. I'll call this full raw, just to have it. And then I move it out. I don't really like having it there. I have a folder specifically for sequences. And there you go. Now we have our full raw. Everything's here. And first thing I have to do now is sync up the audio to the video. In Adobe Premiere, it's actually really easy. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. So first up, I like to have some separation between all these files, just so that they don't override each other. Something like this. If you're wondering how I did that, if you look over here on the left-hand side, there's a track select forward. If you hold click, you have track select forward tool. But in any case, you select that, and what will happen is that if you select something, it'll select everything in front of that cursor. So if I select here, everything in front of that video clip is selected. If I select here, everything in front of that video clip. If I select here, everything in front of that video clip, and so on. But anyway, I like to leave some gaps so that you have space. And then it's very simple. I've already aligned the audio, so it's pretty close, but to make sure it's exact, you select both files. You right click, you go up to here where it says synchronize. I don't touch anything, but make sure it's on audio and track instead of timecode or clip start, and just let it analyze. Boom. Now it's done. And if we zoom in, and to zoom in is Alt and just mouse wheel, that's what I do, but I'm pretty sure there's other ways to do it. You can see that they're now aligned.
What is up, everyone?
And we can just simply adjust the length so that they match, like so. And I already know that the lavalier mic audio is significantly better than the camera shotgun mic I have. I have a really cheap shotgun mic. So I just override it. Boom. And now they have two separate files. And to help connect them again so that you don't lose this placement, you highlight both. And you can press Control L. But if you also don't know the shortcut, you highlight both, right click, and then there's this little button that will say link. Since I already linked them, it says unlink. And you would just select that and you'll have the same effect. Alright, and I'm going to do that to the rest of these clips and I'll be right back. Alright, now all the video and audio is synced. What I like to do is process the audio. I'm kind of lazy. I use this one effect. So I select everything. You can press Control A or just select it all by doing that. I go up here to Essential Sound. If you don't see this, you can go to Window, and make sure you're in Effects or Editing. I think both have it. Let's see. Yeah, well actually both don't have it, so I guess it is just Effects. So I go to View or Window, and Effects. This is my favorite way to edit, but you do whatever you like. You go into Essential Sound, you click on Dialogue because that's what it is. I drop down this menu, clean up noisy dialogue, and that's pretty much it. I don't really do much more than that. I'm kind of lazy when it comes to cleaning up audio, but I find that this filter does a pretty good job. Alright, finally, now that we've set up all the audio and stuff, I like to do color correction just because if I cut it up, it's kind of hard to apply to all. In Adobe, it's not, because you can always apply the effects into the source here. So this is like the effects panel. You can apply effects here and it'll apply to the whole clip regardless of how you've chopped it up. But still, I like to do it first. And in this case, it looks pretty nice. I might just add a creative LUT just to add some depth to it. And you can just go to Lumetri Color here and you can kind of cycle through the pre-mades, or if you downloaded some, you can select some of those. I like, oh there you go, this is a nice blue one here, SL Big, right? All you do is when you find one you like, you click on it, it applies it, and then I like to reduce the intensity because oftentimes these LUTs can be a little too harsh. I like it at, I liked it at 25. And now that we've applied it, it applies into the effect panel. But as I said, I don't like that, so I select it. I cut it by holding Control X or Command X if you're on Mac. Go to the source panel, select it again, and just paste it, which is Command V or Control V. And now, no matter how I chop this, it will always be applied to the clip. And since I was shooting in the same location, same lighting conditions and all that, I'm just going to apply this LUT across all of these clips and just call it a day. There you go. And now we have color corrected the footage, we've matched the audio, and we've cleaned up the audio. And what I like to do now is copy this timeline and then use the second timeline to edit, just so I always have the raw footage in case I need it. So here we go. You right click, you go to duplicate, it'll pull up a copy, name this edit version 1, and then just double click to open, and you can close the other timeline. Now we can finally begin editing our video. So I like to leave the gaps here so I know which part of the video I'm on. And what I'm going to do now is just listen through and keep the takes that I like. And I like to kind of zoom in a bit. Sometimes it's helpful to have the waveform so you can drag that and show it a little more. And we'll just go through and listen to a bit of this.
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel.
By the way, I like to listen at 2x speed so I don't waste as much time, since I'm pretty familiar with what I said, but there are moments where I do better takes than others, so 2x speed allows me to sift through the footage quicker and get done quicker, so that's how I'm doing it.
Today, let's talk about expanding your videography business. In specific, how you can reinvest in your business so you can make more money, work less hours, and...
So that was a bad take. Let's go here. I have a shortcut set so that when I press Q, it deletes everything left of the playhead up until the next clip. In this case, everything to the beginning. Boom. Alright, and let's see how the second take goes.
Let's talk about reinvesting in your business. This allows you to make more money, spend less hours on your business, and instead focus on developing and creating new clients.
Once again, not the best take. I remember it took a little while, so once again, I'm going to delete by pressing Q.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, let's talk business. In particular, reinvesting in your business. This is a topic that I think is worth discussing because oftentimes, especially, I think it's a topic worth.
So I know I repeat that line, so I'm going to go back to where I said it.
That I think is worth reinvesting in your business.
Boom, cut. Go to the next part where I speak well, and then do the Q shortcut so I cut everything so that it cuts seamlessly. Boom. And then while I'm doing this, so I don't have to do it later, I like to soften the cuts a bit because it can be a little jarring on the ears. So what I do is I hold Alt, click on the audio. Now it's selected. You right click, apply default transition. This adds a soft cross dissolve. And I never like it this long. I always shorten it to the minimum, which is like a fraction of a second. And then I just copy it so I can paste it onto the next clip. I save and I move forward. So let's keep it going. Boom. All right. So that's one clip. I like to add a marker too. By pressing M, you can add a marker. Just make sure you're not selected on a clip. Select the timeline. Press M. You get this little marker. And now I will remember this is the intro, and I can bring this other clip closer by selecting the space between them and hitting backspace. Now I know I'm on a new part of the video, and I can continue to do the same thing. So let's do it. And there you have it. This is the rough cut first run of the clips. We have our intro, hook, part 1, 2, 3, 4, recap, a little like button, and then the outro. That's how I like to do my marker so I don't lose anything. And now we can finally go into editing this and adding some graphics. Graphics are anything. They can be titles, so like my name can pop up. If I speak about something, maybe I could put some B-roll footage of it. I can find that online, or if I recorded it myself, I can add it in. And for this, it probably takes the longest. It's probably the longest and hardest part about developing my videos, but that's fine. It's also kind of the more fun and creative part. So let me show you a few things. I have a graphics folder here where I like to keep certain graphics, and there's some that I always use, so I'm gonna import those now. I have it in my documents. I call it graphics. Now I have these graphics when I need them, and first up is the intro. So let's see, what do I say in the beginning?
What's up, everyone? Welcome.
Oops. I get a little snort of my inhale.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, let's talk business. Let's talk business.
I like when I bring up business here, I kind of want to put this guy in, so I just grab him. And I go to effects to control him a little more accurately. I do like this, make him a little smaller. This is a little short, so I'm going to do it to fit. I don't know why it was on a small view, so forgive me for that. And it's looking pretty good. I like to give him a drop shadow. Unfortunately, I've made a lot of presets. So if you go here on the effects panel, I have presets, and you can see I made a bunch. I'll show you how I make one of them later. But in this instance, I want a drop shadow, and I've made a drop shadow preset. So I just drop it on, and now he's got a little bit of a shadow, so he has some depth to him. So I like that. And when I say in particular, I'll make that a separate cut. I'll make sure to activate everything too, so when I cut, it goes through all the layers. Boom. I like, for the first shot, I do like having it a little bit zoomed in. So what I like to do is I'll select it, go to the effects panel, and for scale, that shows, you know, how big it is. It also kind of works as like a digital zoom, so I'll just put it like 110, sometimes 120. I like to make sure the framing is accurate. It looks about right. I like to be in the third. And I would say that looks good, so let's play it again.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, let's talk business.
And I'll put the sound thing there just so it doesn't clip.
In particular, reinvesting in your business.
Actually, probably reinvesting should come up. Investing should probably have this guy. Yeah, that makes more sense to me.
Investing in your business. I think this is a topic worth it.
I don't think I say my name, so I guess I don't have to say it or put title. I guess I should put it in though. So let me show you how to make a simple graphic. I'll do it right now. I'm gonna make a little slide in from the right so that my name pops up, because I don't say it, but I think it's good to have. So I press the T, or you can click this icon for text. Click anywhere on the frame where you would like the text to be, and then you just start typing. So I'm gonna type in Bruno, Pozo. I'll make sure I select everything by pressing Control A, And I don't really mess with the panel here. I like the effects graphics, or essential graphics, excuse me. And I mess with it here. I like the font. My favorite, if you've seen my videos, is Impact. I think it just looks nice. I'll put a little stroke on it because I think I have some separation from the back. If you had brand colors, I would recommend using brand colors for this, but I don't, so I like using white. And since it's on the right side, it's going to be a lower third on the right. I'm going to pan it to the right. Select it. Scale it. Position it where I'd like it, somewhere here. And actually, I'm going to add a background. I normally don't do this, but might as well. I'll make it opaque and make it a little bit bigger. And there we have a very simple title card, but it's static, right, as you can see. So what I like to do to animate it is you can go to effects, and I believe it's called transform. It's right here in distort. You apply it by dragging it on. It pops up in this panel. You select it, and what you can now do is set keyframes. Keyframes are just locations where you animate things. So I can send the end position, which I'll say is like 10 frames, 1, 2. If you hold shift and press left or right, you go up 5 frames at a time. So I press shift, right arrow key twice. I want this to be the end position. And then I can go to shutter angle. This will give us some motion blur. This is why I use transform. Technically, you don't have to do this. Shutter angle 180, and I think you uncheck mark this. And then all I do is go to the beginning of the clip and drag it off. And now, before I even press play, let me just right click these keyframes, select them, right click, temporal, ease in so that it smoothly runs in, and you'll see what I mean. Now when we go in here,
What's up, everyone? Welcome back.
it slides in and it has a little bit of motion blur, so it looks a little more, I would say, fancy, and it just pops up out more. So that's just how you do graphics and animations. And let's say I like this animation coming from the right and I want to use it for later. You can select the transform, right click, and save as a preset. Let's say this, we call it enter right 2, because I already have one, so I'm going to call it 2 so I can delete it. And you don't want scale because it'll depend on the clip size, so it won't be the same speed, so it's kind of variable. So instead of scale, what you want to do is anchor this to the end point. Since we have the first one, we want it to always start at the beginning of the clip to slide in. You have anchor to end. Then you can press OK. And now, when we go to presets, where you can see I have all of mine, when we have enter screen right number 2, I can just simply drag and drop that onto another graphic, and when we go back, you'll see it just animate. However, as you can see, the scaling of its position is not all the way off screen, so I may need to like adjust it, which is fine. Boom, and it works just as well. But in this case, I really don't want that. I'm gonna have it just pop up. And this animation I don't need either, so I'm just going to delete it. But that is how you do simple graphics and animations for your videos if you were curious. So I'm just going to go through this whole video, add all my titles and graphics as necessary, and if I'm feeling ambitious, even some B-roll, I can download that at a website. I like to use pexels.com, and I'll show you that real quick. This one's not too bad, Pexels. And this website's really good, it has a bunch of stock footage, even in vertical, if you happen to have vertical footage. But you can literally search for anything. Let's say I talk in photography or something. Let's see what we find. Yes, we have like someone messing with a camera. This could be useful when I'm talking about the business. So just keep that in mind, and I will start editing. Alright, finally, as you can see, I am done with all of the graphics that I'm going to be using in this video. That's what all this pink and yellow layering is on top. It's text, graphics, and sometimes even B-roll, as you can tell. Now, we are still not done. One final part of this video that I need to do before I export is actually produce the sounds. Something that I used to never do was sound design, and I'm realizing sound design is really powerful, so we have to take advantage of it. So when things move in, like this one, for example, see how it gives a little blur? Give it a little sound effect to bring it to life so it's not just dead on the screen. So let me show you what I do. I actually have downloaded a bunch of sound effects. I got some presets from a course, and then some other website had a bunch, so I have them saved here. I like whooshes because I use a lot of sliding motions, and the ones I like in this list are 1, 2, 8, and 12. The other ones are kind of dookie, and I just alternate using these. This one's kind of fast, this one's a little faster. I like to change the endpoints so that it's just drag and drop. 8 starts from here, and then 12 is the most classic. You've probably heard this one on YouTube. Let me play it. You definitely know that one if you know what I'm talking about. So just to make it more YouTubey, I'm gonna start with this one. Let's put this at the start when my name comes up, and you'll see how it sounds.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today,
See how it gives a little depth to this animation, makes it a little more lively, and it's a little loud, so I like to have it reduced by 15. You can do that manually, so I'll show you how to do that. You select the audio, you go to effects here, then you just go to levels. Make sure the stopwatch is off, otherwise it'll rise and drop it. Instead, you want to change the whole thing, and I would do -15 personally. It sounds good for me on most sound effects. And let's play it again.
what's up, everyone? Welcome back.
Yep, much smoother, much safer. And once again, once you make that, you can just save as a preset, and I like to save it as a sound effect -15. So I'm gonna go through this video one more time and add sound design to anything that looks animated that I think could use a little punch, maybe something I said, need a little ding, whatever the case is, and then we can finally get towards the final step, which is exporting. So I'll meet you there. All right, and there you have it. That is the full project, sound effects. Now you can add music. I personally don't like to. I think it's distracting, even if it's like very quiet, because I listen to a lot of YouTube videos because I have YouTube Premium, and that's just my opinion. But feel free at this point to add one more audio track, add some music, make sure the volumes are good, and then you would be ready to export. I just forgot to add my outro, which I will do right now, but you don't have to really watch that. Okay, now that I've finished this video, I've added my outro, I've added all my sound design, it is time to finally export, and we are done. So in Adobe Premiere, to export, you have to make sure you have a sequence selected. So I can close these other ones, doesn't really matter, but you have to see selected. You'll know because there's like a blue border that outlines the selection of this window. Otherwise, if you have the effects panel, this is selected, as you can kind of tell by the blue border. So select this, go up to File, scroll down to Export, Media. You could also use this shortcut right here. This window will pop up. You can change the name and the output destination. I have a folder titled Deliverables for my clients. I have some videos here, but in this case, it's going to be Reinvesting in Your Business. Boom, save that. And for the settings, you can get as custom or not custom as you'd like. What I did is I go down to YouTube 1080. I check mark use max rendering depth. Let me make this window a little bit bigger. In video, I make sure everything's matched, perfect. 24 frames, render at maximum depth, I check marked as well. Now leave everything else as is. You can change this to constant bitrate. I find that to be a little more higher quality. And then that's about it. I don't touch anything else. If you have captions, you can burn them in here or export them as a separate file, but I don't have captions. And then audio, I just kind of keep it as is, AAC, MPEG, whatever. And once you do that, you can actually click this icon to save it as a preset, which I have already done. I call it YouTube 1080p at 24 frames. But for this example, I made it from custom. You can click save, retype this as YT 24 FPS 1080p, and then you would hit save, and then you can always select it back so you don't have to keep doing this every time you export. But since we're ready, I'm just going to hit export and let the computer do its thing. in a short video like this where it's 10 minutes or so, it's going to take a little while. This is a really nice laptop, so it might not take that long. As you can see, it says about 3 minutes. But thank you guys for watching. I really hope this was interesting, valuable, or at least insightful for you. This is my editing process. Let me know how you guys edit down below. Like the video, it'll help me out in the YouTube algorithm. And of course, subscribe for more, because I am here to help you guys develop your filmography business or any other business that you're into, because I am an entrepreneur and I just like helping. So thank you once again, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.